My hearty obeisance to all of the listeners and viewers. All of us are knowing that the whole world, human world, is burning in the inferno of various sects, various beliefs and religions. All the religions have different beliefs and different doctrines, and their difference is not so much problematic, but the contradictions and competition and mutual hatred among them have been a problem for human society from centuries. Billions and billions of people have been killed, tortured, raped, looted. And for all these activities, their different identities and mutual hatredful identities have been responsible for it. Is there any way that we could evolve common identities or a common belief or a common doctrine, a common philosophy, or a state of our society relinquished from all these beliefs and hatredful doctrines. If humanity has to survive, there must be a system. There must be a philosophy which should be so scientific that there is space for all people alike, whether one is intellectual or whether one is a common gentry. First, we should think about the different philosophy of different religions. It seems that there are many differences, but in my perception, there is just a difference of 2.5 words. In fact, 2.5 syllables later. 2.5 letters just. A difference of one and oneness. Muslims and Christians and many others religions, they believe that God is one, and this God has created the world, which is different, distinct. This is where the contradiction appears. And in Hinduism, it is said that this existence is infinite and God is infinite. And here it says God is oneness. So the basic difference is of one and oneness. So this one has to be converted into oneness. Why? Because it can be easily proved that this existence is infinite. It has no beginning, it has no end. In Quran and in Bible, you will not find the word infinite. But in Hinduism, you will always find this infinite word, which is called Anant in Sanskrit. And Ekmev for oneness. Why this existence is infinite? Because of the very simple logic that a thing can only end if the other thing begins from that place. And if anything begins, that means something has ended there. And the series of this beginning and ending of a substance is incalculable, infinite. This is why the existence is infinite. You cannot imagine to end this existence. Wherever you will think that this has ended, that means something has started. Because a question will arise that when it has ended, what is after that? End means the beginning of something. And beginning means something has ended. In mathematics, this has been very clearly depicted. Suppose you say any digit, anyone can say more than that digit or less than that digit. So you cannot say that this digit is final digit. This number is final number. Any number can be added to any number, and any number can be lessened. So you can go on joining and joining. It will be endless. You will go on subtracting and subtracting. It will be endless. For example, we have a number 1. So, number 1 can be added. We can say number 1 and number 2. Means number 1, after that number 2. And below number 1, 0.9, 0.8, like that. Between 1 and 2, there are infinite numbers. 0.1, 0.3, 0.5, and all the fractions of decimal. Between any two number, there are infinite numbers. So, the whole existence is proved infinite. So, this infinity is oneness. All of us are interlinked, and in fact, all of us are in fact one. We are not separate. Suppose a tree is also breathing. It is exhaling oxygen which we are inhaling. Whatever we are discarding, someone and something is interacting with that, using that. So we have a continuum. There is no gap. The thing which looks like a gap is in fact, there is subtlety which we are not understanding. If we meditate, we could understand. And scientifically it is also proved that between two objects, there is no absolute vacuum. There are many things, there are many rays, maybe alpha rays, beta rays, gamma rays, delta rays, photons, sound, light, many things. It may be visual, it may not be visual. Visuality may be our limitation, but the existence is always there. Even in space, there is existence. So existentiality cannot be discarded. And this existence is in fact oneness, onlyness. Onlyness and infinity is reality. So all the doctrines should evolve or should submerge or emerge from what they are today to a state of infinity and oneness. This is the way for all the philosophies to reunite, to re-evolve, and to redefine. Then there will be no competitive and distinctive distinctions among different identities which we are perceiving as different. In the meditative state, you will know that all these distinctions are only mirage, are only ignorance, are only egotistic state of mind. In that egotistic state of mind, we say that it is different, we are against those identities. We have our different set of sorrow, happiness, grief, etc. And they have different sets of sorrowness and grief and happiness. But in reality, there is one continuum, oneness continuity, and sorrowness and happiness, pain and pleasure is not of a single identity. It is holistic. In fact, we cannot say that it is a single thing. We cannot say anything as a single. We can always divide what has been called single. We can always unite to that single. So singularity is not a real perception. All the digits, all the numbers in their totality, all the numbers in their totality, in their wholeness, is the reality. This is the philosophical oneness which humanity has to evolve, humanity has to accept, and humanity has to meditate. Then and there, we will get rid of all the hatred, happiness, griefs, all the dualities, pain and pleasure, all the dualities. We will be in a state of non-dualism. That is the theory, that is the philosophy where we have to reach. This is the goal, ultimate goal of the humanity. And from belief system means a system which has only imagined about the reality, though that existence may not be real. So the unrealistic things has been adopted and has been imposed on humanity. And this is why there has been contradictions and competitions and mutual hatredness, which has given humanity a history of turmoil and violence. Humanity should discard this belief system. We should adopt science and spirituality. We should discover ourselves. We should discover all the things, and not only discover, but we should know their interrelationship and their mutual reflections and their mutual oneness. By meditation or by other experiences or by many experiments, we should reach to this conclusion that unrealistic things or unnecessary imaginations which has no real base should be discarded from the religion and from the sects. So this blind believing system should be ended, and reasonable and experienced and logical system should be evolved. From belief to knowledge, we have to shift from this belief system to empirical system, where we should experience all the real things. All those beliefs which have no logical base should be discarded. Their time has come to end those systems, to save humanity. Because humanity is more important than those beliefs, those blind beliefs. Those blind beliefs are killing humanity, killing humans. They may end human civilization itself. So why not? We should discard those things which have been imposed by force and by ignorance. So those who were forcing, they were also ignorant. And on those whom these things have been imposed, they were also ignorant. But in the light of science, in this modern world, there is no place for those things. This is our message to whole world. This should be our message. This is our prime duty, to evolve from one to oneness, evolve from singularity to infinity, evolve from belief to experience. And not only the experience of our sense organs only, but experience by parasense organs. And those experiences should be highlighted, should be taught, should be discoursed, to all human society, to all the sects, to all the classes, to all the sections of the society. And I hope that transcending from this state to that state will bring a new world, a world where everyone could rejoice, a world where there is no war, no battle, a world where we could love each other, thinking that we are yourself. There is no difference between I and you. The difference of I and you, which is a difference of mere words and ignorance, this should be transcended to ours. We should evolve from I and you to ours. This is the only hope of ray for human civilization. And we could and we should save our society, our civilization from these plethora of doctrines, from blind system, believing system, from the scourge of discrimination, in the name of religion, caste, creed, nationality, color, and class. These all are ignorance, and we should mature enough to pass from these discriminations to unification, from different identities to common identity, to a universal identity. Then and there we can say that we are an evolved lot. We are an evolved human. Otherwise, we should be ashamed of our achievements, which we so boast. Om